Hello YouTube, my name is Mason and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be ranking every single theatrically released Superman movie to date, including the new Superman movie that just came out. So with that getting started, let's start off with my honorable mention, which is the extended edition and the special edition of Superman the movie. Because these are basically, the special edition is another cut of the movie basically, and then the extended cut is a 3-hour long TV movie that they released on, of course, TV. So I thought I would, give that honorable mention and get that out of the way. So, with that being said, in dead last, we have Superman 4: The Quest for Peace. Now, this was a really, really bad movie. So basically, Christopher Reeve didn't like how Superman 3 turned out, so he wanted to be more involved in the creative writing process. So he wrote a story about Superman basically getting rid of all the world's nukes, and they also cut down the budget a lot, so they used a lot of reshoots and everything. The story wasn't really that good at all. You had Lex come back and everything, but still, it wasn't it. And Christopher Reeve didn't really. It's not his fault; it's the studio's fault. But it did not really turn out really well. And the production value and everything with it felt cheap and just lackluster. Like, it just threw it out there just to make money and everything. And it didn't really make any real money back at all. So, yeah, last place, Superman 4: Quest for Peace. In next place, we have Superman 3. Now, this movie is a huge step in quality, but not by much. It's still an enjoyable, watchable film. I get it, but they sidelined Superman to have Richard Pryor be front and center. They made this just a comedy movie with Richard Pryor in it, right? They just shoveled Superman off to the side, he has less screen time, everything like that. And Christopher Reeve even publicly stated out, that he is sorry for making this movie and everything. But with that being said, the movie does have good parts to it, like the Clark Kent and Superman battle feud or whatever they have in the junkyard where he's trying to regain his consciousness and everything like that against the evil Superman. The part where they cut out Brainiac, so it's not really Brainiac, but the computer system area at the end of the movie, that was really good, I felt like. But overall, it was just a mediocre, not a good Superman movie at all. In next place, we have Superman Returns. Now, this is a huge step up in quality. Now, this movie did come out in 2000, I want to say 2006. Yeah, 2006. And basically, this is a continuation of the Christopher Reeve Superman movies because, Christopher Reeve couldn't do it anymore because of his accident. So they got Brandon Routh to play Superman, and they got Kevin Spacey to play Lex Luthor. And it just felt like a dated franchise at the time, right? So what they basically did is kind of reinvented it. They barely had any action in the film. It was basically more drama and it wasn't boring at all. It's just a bunch of expose. I still like this movie. Now, this movie is a huge step in quality from the other two. Huge step up in quality. But I just feel like that it was the wrong movie at the wrong time, basically. It just felt dated when it came out. And, but there is some good parts, with Lois Lane and him having a son and everything. Big spoilers for this movie, by the way. But yeah, it was still good. Superman's suit was great. Brandon Routh played his heart out, and he did a really good job. Kevin Spacey, was playing this dated version of Lex Luthor, which, wasn't really good for the time anymore, so yeah. Next up, we have Batman v Superman, the Ultimate Edition. I will refuse to watch the regular edition because the Ultimate Edition has 30 more minutes, and it's also rated R. But basically, this is actually a good film when you look at it in a fact that he was trying to have a vision. Now, it wasn't perfect by any means, but it did do, well, what I thought it did well, which was having the perspective of Batman wanting to fight Superman because he destroyed Metropolis, which is in Man of Steel. And basically you have this character arc where Bruce is like, I don't know if we should have this alien on Earth because he might be a threat and whatnot to society. So basically, they go at this feud and everything, and I actually do enjoy this a lot. It's actually kind of a lot of people don't like it. I do. And yeah, but the one big downside of this movie is Lex Luthor, who's played by Jesse Eisenberg, who isn't even Lex Luthor. He's playing a version of the Riddler, or he's just playing Mark Zuckerberg in a freaking Superman movie, dude. It's just not it at all. No. And then they did the Death of Superman storyline, and that's just too early, man. For a second movie in in a DC universe. No go, no go, no go. Next up, we have Man of Steel. Now, I know what y'all are gonna say. Oh, it's on top 2, not top 3. Oh. Yes, it's not in. I swear to gosh, this freaking screen. Technical difficulties. There we go. Superman. Error. Superman. All right. Sorry. Technical difficulties. So basically, this movie was great. I love that Christopher Nolan co-wrote it with Zack Snyder directing. It felt like a darker, edgier version of Superman. They did the Krypton thing right, because the first 30 minutes of this movie is basically what happened on Krypton, like the fall of Krypton and how he was sent to Earth. And I really liked that because they showed that it was in war and everything. You had Russell Crowe as his father, Jor-El. You had Michael Shannon as General Zod, and Henry Cavill as Superman, which was really good casting at the time. It just never went anywhere, basically, because the DC universe kind of went out on a cinder kind of putter little area, like pew, 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 pew. But I still love this movie. I thought it was really good. The fight scenes and everything, and the end of the movie where Superman had to kill Zod, or risk killing the family. That was a really touching moment. Showing that his humanity and everything, and that he won't kill anymore. But yeah, that's what I thought. I really love Man of Steel. Next up, in third place, my top 3. Third place, we have Superman 2 and/or the Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut. Now, I'm putting them in the same place because they're basically the same gosh dang movie, just, different cuts of the film. So, back in the 1980s, when they were going to release Superman 2, Richard Donner got fired. So, the original cut of Superman 2 was directed by Superman 2 was directed by, let's see here, Richard Lester. Now, his version of the film was very different, and I do like versions of Richard Lester's better than the Richard Donner cut, but I do like more stuff from the Richard Donner cut, though. So, I don't know. I prefer the original one, the original cut of Superman 2. Richard Donner's cut is still good, right? But I wish they would have incorporated some of Richard Lester's stuff into it. So, basically, some of the scenes were different, like how Lois found out about Clark's powers, or like the ending of the movie, instead of kissing Lois Lane and making her forget, he time traveled again like the first movie. But some stuff felt lazy, some stuff felt, uncut and everything, because, it was still in the filming process, and they couldn't do reshoots either because Christopher Reeve, was gone at the time. And this is one of Richard Donner's last things he did for DC at the time. So, yeah. Superman 2, number 3. Now, number 2, I don't have yet because it just came out. The new Superman movie from 2025. Now, I will say I had a huge smile on my face when I did. I took my brother, took my friends to go see it. I loved every single moment of it. James Gunn did a fantastic job, with the storytelling, the actors, everything like that. And the fact that I saw it twice, too, so, yeah. But basically, they showed that, a hero can give hope. What Superman really stands for, the S, stands for hope, it stands for freedom, it stands for truth and justice in the American way. As Christopher Reeve said in the original Superman movie, we'll get to that. But basically, it showed that he can be a human being. And he had a speech at the end of the movie to Lex saying, you know what, Lex, that's the problem you have with me. I'm human, I cry, I laugh, I get down my feet, but I still put one foot in front of the other, and I keep moving. And, that was really inspiring, and, gave me, want to be Superman. Because, and with that being said, we have our number 1 spot left over, which is going to go to Superman, the movie from 1978. Now, this movie holds a special place in my heart, because it's my favorite superhero movie of all time. I'll debate that to the end of the earth. And the fact that it was the blueprint for every modern-day superhero movie that came after it. So, this movie is the first time we got Christopher Reeve as Superman, Margaret Kidder as Lois Lane, Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor, and basically this movie felt like a comic book movie straight ripped out of the comics. So before this movie came out. This movie was everything back in the day. It came out and it was just a huge, massive hit. And, Superman stood for truth, justice, and the American way. He wasn't this broody, darker character that, Henry Cavill played. He was this, he was Superman. He gave hope. He gave people a reason to be, helpful and actually help out other people. The character that Christopher Reeve brought to life changed many lives, and they have a documentary on HBO Max about how Christopher Reeve, the story and everything like that, but I'm not going to get into that. But he changed the way that we look at comic book characters, the way that they can be shown as being the best of themselves and putting that one foot forward, like what David Cornswet said. But yeah, that's my ranking of the Superman movies. Hope you all enjoyed, and definitely leave a like and a comment down below. Thank you very much. You all have a great day.